Kyle paints Busan. Okay, whoa, I must have scrolled down. Where did it go? There it is. So this one was posted February 10th, 2008, and has only 447 views. So apparently more than 10 times as many people care about fish jerky than care about art.
It's important to start any video sequel off with a good cup of tea. In my case, green tea. Sometimes I like to have a piece of seaweed to go along with my tea.
Oh, seaweed is so good. I should buy some of that too. I'm so glad I live in Toronto, where international food is common and easy to find.
One thing that really helps when you're painting is this selective Gaussian blur. Now, what this tool does is it blurs the similar areas, but still keeps the edges nice and sharp, so it's a good way to simplify things.
I believe it's called Smart Blur in Photoshop. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's still a feature that I make frequent use of.
Nice blur area, but the edges are still sharp. Alright, now to help me cheat
again. The reason I was doing this was because I would use the artistic cutout filter in Photoshop, but I was using Linux because Windows Vista was the alternate at that time, and who wants to use that? And I didn't want to pirate Photoshop, so I was using GIMP as an alternate, and I don't know if I don't think I knew about, was it GIMP or whatever that mark is? Oh. Burning Windows, I remember that too. Man, Linux used to focus on arbitrary special effects instead of useful animations.
A 5H pencil. It just shows up better on camera at the expense of the final piece. The last video made it look like I drew and painted the whole thing in the course of about 20 minutes. The reality is it takes much longer than that. It's just thanks to the magic of editing and playing
about
things.
16 hours to trace.
16 times. And it looks like a much faster process than it really
and
is.
Then,
yeah, the first one was like 2 months, even though it looks like
probably,
I did it in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure this would get
I mean, I wasn't putting work in every single day for 2 months, but
drawing.
It's probably a good solid 24 to 40 hours in the painting. I love how the music I'm listening to when it's sped up 16 times just kind of sounds like running water or insects or, you know, cheap 50 sci-fi movie robot sound effects. Oh, Cass, I remember that. Korean beer. Yeah, the pencil lead couldn't show up in the last video because I think I was using like a 6 or 7H. So this time I was using a slightly softer pencil. I mean, a 5H is still very hard, but the graphite will actually show up on the camera this time. Also, that close-up of my eye you saw a few seconds ago was also just because as I was editing the last one, I realized I had kind of monotonous footage, so I wanted to vary it more with more, you know, palettes, close-up, far away, extreme close-ups, middle shots, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's rare that I haven't really gone back and watched these, so the difference at the time didn't seem that big, but watching them now, yeah, I think this is definitely a better made video. Like composition and cinematography wise. I just wish I had shot it with a better camera and had better lighting. I think I might have even actually gone out and bought a tripod. Oh, I like that shot. This video should start to get quite exciting as soon as I pull out my Pentel brush pen and get filling in the shadows, because right now it's looking pretty light and washed out and subtle, but once a bit of black gets in there, it'll the whole thing will really start to pop. So I find white tends to suck the intensity out of colors, where black kind of makes the colors explode off the page, whereas gray does bizarre, unpredictable, hard to describe through words things to colors. Oh yeah, look at... I think I'm also having more variety of intensity in this painting. I certainly learned a lot. The very first one was just me adapting a technique for a different medium. And then this one, I had kind of done the watercolor before and learned, okay, this is what I have to change to make it work, not as just a painting, but as specifically a watercolor painting. This is what I have to do.
With the last painting, I used my nice Pentel brush, but I went through about 5 cartridges, and they're really expensive. So this time around, I'm trying out Chinese ink.
Oh yeah, I bought India ink.
Chinese ink allows for some really beautiful brushwork.
Despite having a degree in drawing and painting, I actually don't do a lot of work with ink, so I'm not an expert on Chinese ink and what makes it unique from other varieties of ink. But performance-wise, it was very similar to India ink with a less distracting gloss. Some India inks have the shellac in them. Some interesting dry brush textures. If this was filmed in high def with, you know, with like a proper stabilizer or monopod or Steadicam and some nice pretty background music, this could almost be like a professional caliber painting mini documentary. But because it was filmed on cheap consumer gear lazily, not much I can do with this now. Far more abstract composition than the first one. More colorful.